What's going on, guys? Tanner with Elite Sports Cards here, and today I have a brand new video for you. Today we're starting a new series on the channel, and it is called Why Do You Collect? Now the purpose of this new series is going to be interviewing different people that we meet in the hobby, our friends, different collectors, vendors, shop owners, everyone, and just asking them their story and why they decided to collect cards and what keeps them going every single day to continue being a part of the hobby that we all love. Now, today's episode is going to be based on me. I'm going to tell you my story, what got me into collecting and everything of the sort. And then over the next few weeks, months, years, I'm going to have different people telling me their stories and interviewing them and just asking them, what they enjoy most about the hobby. You will see this video on Saturday, January 27th. At that time, I will be at the Fairfield Card Show at the Solano Town Center. I'll put a picture of the flyer up there. That show is Friday, Saturday, Sunday this weekend. So we will be doing some interviews with people there, and there will be a vlog from that show coming early next week. But without further ado, let's get right into today's video. So when I was younger, I started collecting cards because of my grandfather. My grandfather had been collecting cards pretty much his entire life, but he had a large inventory of stuff from what we call the junk wax era, which is predominantly 90s based sports cards where they were just mass produced like no other, and he had thousands of them, which I now have today. I got his collection about 3 years ago now, and I still go through it all the time, but growing up, I used to ask him every single time I went to his house, can we just look at your cards? And he'd always say, yeah, and he'd go pull something out, we'd look through them, and it was a great time. And eventually, when I was about 8 years old, he started buying me my own packs of cards, and I would buy Topps Baseball was like my favorite thing ever, back when Topps did baseball, football, pretty much everything. But they would sell them in these like plastic containers, and I don't know how to describe it. I think I have one in my other office, but they're like the size of like a blaster, and they were just these really hard shell plastic cases, and they would have packs in them or just individual cards, and they'd have like those sticks of bubble gum in there. And I would buy those. They were like $10 at the time, I believe. They're $9.99. And I would buy those, and I'd look through them, and I would read stats, and that was my thing, was I would love to read the stats and just learn more about players. And then I'd put them in my binders. I didn't know anything about penny sleeves, top loaders, anything like that. I'd just slide them in, the sleeves and the pages of a binder, and that was how I collected. And I still have all of those binders till today. They're in my other office. I go through them all the time. And there's a lot of cool stuff in there that I will never sell. I'll never even think about getting rid of. I love looking at them every time. That I just feel that kind of nostalgic kick. And so around 9th grade, I used to get kind of made fun of for a lot of the things I do, because I was considered different for that time, back then, people got made fun of for playing video games. There just wasn't the cool thing. Collecting sports cards definitely wasn't the cool thing back in like 2010, 2011. And so I stopped doing it to fit in with the crowd, which unfortunately is about the time that Mike Trout rookie cards started coming into circulation. And that was predominantly what I bought, was baseball, Topps Baseball. So who knows? Maybe I missed out on a gold mine or retirement, but we'll never know. Roughly, what are we at there? 7 years later, I get stationed at Beale Air Force Base in California. I'm originally from Lincoln, California, but after I enlisted, I got stationed at the base that was literally closest to the city that I grew up in. Around that time, when I moved into the dorms there, I went to my mom's house, who lived about 30 minutes away, and I grabbed a bunch of my old stuff, which included my cards. So I started looking through them again, and I looked things up online, but I didn't start buying cards for about another year into 2019. And I remember I walked into a Target at the time, and I used to walk by the card section, but I never thought anything of it. And I walked in and I bought maybe 4 or 5 boxes, spent like $50 or $60 back in 2019 before everything boomed. And I remember I bought all these boxes, and roughly 6 months later was when the boom happened for cards again, when everyone started buying them. And I remember I went back to buy more, and there was nothing there. And I was like, did they stop selling them? And I asked the manager, and they're like, no, they're just, everyone's been buying them. And I had seen an uptick because of people like Gary Vee and all these different people saying sports cards are the move, sports cards are the move, Pokemon this, Pokemon that, get into collecting. And I was like, it's really going to be that big? And so at the time, I started doing research, and that was my main goal, was just to figure out what was going on. And I didn't realize how much there was to learn about cards and the hobby itself, which I thought was absolutely amazing. And that's what really sparked my want to go into this as like a full-time thing. Just the amount of different content that's out there from different people, the amount of articles you could read, the amount of just different brands and sub-brands of cards, learning about like what national treasures were and learning about numbered stuff. Because growing up, I didn't know what numbered cards were. I bought them and I shoved them in a sleeve. And so at this point, I figured, this is the greatest thing ever. We're going through COVID at the time on base. We were working 2 weeks off, 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. So for 2 weeks at a time, I didn't have anything better to do but to research and watch videos and do all this stuff. And I just became infatuated with it once again. And it felt like I was a kid because I don't know, it's something about it. It makes you feel like a kid again. And I feel like that's why a lot of people do it. It brings back a lot of good memories of opening packs with your dad or your grandpa or whoever. It's just one of those things that makes you, feel good inside. And so over the next few years, I started buying cards left and right and going on eBay and spending a ton of money. And I still kind of didn't fully know what I was doing. I didn't know how to sell anything. Like, I would post stuff on eBay and it wouldn't sell. And then a couple things did, and then I had to figure out how to correctly ship them, which took me a couple of orders. And it just kept, continuing to grow into more and more things. And that's when I figured out that there was still card shops. There was a shop near me in Yuba City, but it wasn't for sports cards. They mainly focused on Yu-Gi-Oh!, Pokemon, Magic the Gathering, stuff like that. And then I found out there was actually a card shop that had opened up recently in the town I grew up called Lincoln, and it was a shop called Epic, and that was owned by this guy named Brett, and I still go in there quite a bit. I love Brett, and that was the first shop that I had seen. And so when I went in there, I just asked him question after question, like, what is this, to be honest? Like, how did you get into this? How do you get boxes? How do you do this? What are all these different parallels? How do you get numbered cards? And he sat down and we just talked and talked and talked for hours on end. And I would drive once a week, twice a week, 40 minutes from Yuba City to Lincoln and just talk with him and figure things out. And then I found out about local shows at the Wyndham Hotel in Sacramento and all these different things. And it just became just like the greatest thing ever. And at that time, then I found shops like True Sports Cards in Rockland that you guys saw. I did a video on their anniversary day. NorCal, which is owned by Tommy, they have a shop in Folsom and Roseville now. And so I met so many people so quick, and everyone just wanted to help me learn like everything. And I thought it was awesome. It was an ability to gain knowledge on something that I felt like I had a good understanding of, and then I found out I quite literally knew nothing. And that's what I loved about it the most. Something that, I enjoy is just learning. And there's stuff I'm still learning every single day about the hobby, and I love it. So it's been quite a journey, and now I have my own brand of Elite, which I hope to one day have my own brick and mortar shop. But for right now, I'm sticking to what I know best, and that's setting up at local shows. We're going to be streaming and selling on Whatnot here very soon. I just kind of finished everything that I needed to in this room with the office. I'm going to be doing a video like showing everything in here very, very soon, and continuing to just grow and meet new people and grow my followings on every single platform like YouTube here. So it's been awesome. There's a lot of support in the comment section, and some people have learned things from me, which I think is awesome. I get a lot of people reaching out to me through Instagram DMs, through my YouTube comments, and I think it's awesome. That's just what we are. We're one big family here. So it's definitely changed my life over the last few years, and not in a sense of anything other than I feel like I have so many new friends, even people that I've never met that I talk to online. It's always cool to just know that there's people who are looking out for your PC somewhere around there. Like, hey, I saw this, you're going to like this. And they send you it through a DM. People are constantly thinking about each other, and I love it. So for me, that's my story of how, I got into the hobby and why I collect. I enjoy it so much. I love learning new things. I love meeting all the people. And I love the fact that I'm able to do this and create content about it to, give you guys something to see for those of you who have never been to a show, or those of you who don't have shows near you, or you want to become a vendor at a show, or you just want to learn how to buy and sell. And I'm going to be doing a lot of videos like that here in the future of listing things on Whatnot, packaging orders, what I look for when buying, subbing PSA submissions, tons of stuff like that, just because I want to help everyone learn about the hobby itself. So I hope you guys did enjoy this video. If you guys are new here, please consider hitting the subscribe button, leave a comment, tell me some people in the hobby that you'd like to see me interview one day for this exact series, or even let me know why you started collecting in the comments. I'd love to read some of your guys' stories. It'd be awesome just to talk in the comments about it. If you haven't already, please smash the like button. Follow me on Instagram. It'll be in the description below at Elite Sport Cards. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.